For centuries, one text has stirred more fear than any other. The Book of Revelation, a vision of fire, judgment, and the end of days. Apocalypse, plagues, the Four Horsemen, a final battle between good and evil. But what if we've been reading it all wrong? What if Revelation was never about destruction, but transformation, not the end of the world, but the end of illusion? Hidden within this ancient scripture is a secret message, one that mystics, Gnostics, and initiates have guarded for millennia. They knew Revelation was not a prophecy of doom, but a roadmap, a spiritual initiation wrapped in symbolism, allegory, and cosmic code. The Seven Seals, the Whore of Babylon, the beast with 7 heads. These are not external terrors. They are inner trials, archetypes, steps on the path of awakening. Because the true revelation is not what happens to the world, it's what happens within you. So tonight, we look again, not with fear, but with eyes wide open, not to interpret prophecy, but to decode it, to uncover the esoteric teachings buried beneath centuries of dogma and distortion. Are you ready to see the Book of Revelation not as an ending, but as the beginning of a higher truth? Then follow the signs, because the journey is about to begin, and what you'll find might change everything. Part 1. The Origins of Revelation, a Hidden Code. The Book of Revelation, a text that has haunted humanity for centuries, filled with terrifying beasts, burning skies, and divine judgment. It has long been seen as a prophecy of the end times, but what if its true message has been hidden in plain sight? Tradition tells us Revelation was written by John the Apostle while exiled on the island of Patmos, receiving a divine vision from heaven itself. But not all scholars agree. Some believe the Book of Revelation is far older, deeper, and more mysterious than we've been told. Could it have roots in the lost teachings of the Gnostics, the Hermetics, the hidden streams of early Christian mysticism, the lost teachings of early Christianity? In the early centuries of Christianity, there was no single doctrine. There were many voices, many paths. The Gnostics believed that divine truth was not something taught by priests, but something revealed from within. They taught that every human held a divine spark, and that true salvation came not through belief, but through awakening. The Hermetic schools of Egypt taught something similar, that the soul journeys through layers of illusion, and only through spiritual transformation can it return to the divine. These teachings weren't just metaphors, they were maps, initiatory systems designed to awaken the soul. Could the Book of Revelation have encoded these same ideas in symbolic language hidden from the uninitiated? The 7 churches, a map of inner ascension. At the beginning of Revelation, John writes letters to 7 churches, real cities in Asia Minor, or so it seems. But to esoteric scholars, these churches may represent something far more profound. 7 stages of the soul's awakening. Like the chakras in Eastern mysticism or the steps in Hermetic alchemy, these churches could symbolize inner gates. Each one a test, a transformation, a layer of the self to be transcended. Ephesus, the first spark, the soul's call to awaken. Smyrna, the trial, where pain becomes purification. Pergamum, the divide, the inner war between ego and spirit. Thyatira, the deepening, knowledge beyond dogma. Sardis, The death, the ego collapses, illusion crumbles. Philadelphia, the opening. The heart blooms with divine love. Laodicea, the crown, the final threshold. Enlightenment. If revelation was never about churches or geography, but about the initiate's journey inward, then everything changes. The hidden message beneath the apocalypse. What if the beasts and battles were never external? What if they're symbols of inner conflict? The darkness we must face and transcend. What if the apocalypse is not the end of the world, but the end of ignorance, a death of illusion, a rebirth of truth? Because the early church did not just preserve sacred knowledge, it also suppressed it. The mystics were silenced, the Gnostics were branded heretics, the inner path was erased from public view. But revelation survived, encoded, protected beneath layers of terrifying imagery, waiting for those with the eyes to see. And now, the veil begins to lift. Because if this is not a book of fear, but a spiritual manual disguised as prophecy, then everything we thought we knew has only been the beginning. Part 2. The Seven Seals and the Path of Initiation. For centuries, the seven seals in the Book of Revelation have struck terror into the hearts of readers, seen as omens of judgment, destruction, and divine fury. But what if this fear is based on a misunderstanding? In the esoteric traditions, a seal is more than just a divine lock. It is a symbol of limitation, a veil over the mind, a barrier between the material self and the awakened soul. To break a seal is to pierce illusion. To open one is to begin the path of initiation. The opening of the seals, a journey within. The seven seals do not herald the collapse of the world. They mark the collapse of ignorance, an inner unraveling. Each one, a phase in the soul's evolution. Each one, a challenge faced by the spiritual initiate. The Four Horsemen, gatekeepers of awakening. Perhaps the most misunderstood symbols in Revelation are the Four Horsemen. Riders of conquest, war, famine, and death, feared as harbingers of doom. But what if they are symbolic trials? Rites of passage that every soul must face on the journey to illumination. The white horse, the false light. Often mistaken for Christ, this rider may represent spiritual illusion. False prophets, egoic power, the seduction of half-truths. To move forward, the initiate must learn discernment, to seek truth not in external saviors, but within. The red horse, the inner war. The war is not outside, it is within. The red horse brings the great inner battle, the clash between the higher self and the lower ego. Only through this fire can the seeker temper the soul. The black horse, the hunger for meaning, not just famine of the body, but of the spirit. A thirst for wisdom, purpose, and clarity. This trial challenges the initiate to release material dependence, to understand that real nourishment is spiritual. The pale horse, death and rebirth. Not an ending, but a beginning. The pale horse brings the death of illusion, the crumbling of ego, the dissolution of the false self. It is here that the true awakening begins. The 144,000, a symbol of completion. Revelation speaks of 144,000 souls who are sealed. Are they a literal chosen few or a symbolic number? In numerology, 144,000 reduces to 9, the number of completion, initiation, and universal truth. In Kabbalistic thought, it represents a return to divine wholeness. Perhaps the 144,000 are not elite or elect, but those who have walked the path, broken the seals, and remembered who they are. 7 seals, 7 paths. Many mystical systems echo this framework. 7 chakras, energy centers rising toward enlightenment. 7 Hermetic principles, laws that govern all reality. 7 stages of alchemy, turning the base self into spiritual gold. Each seal is a gate, each gate a lesson. Not about the end of the world, but the end of illusion. And when the last seal breaks, the initiate sees not destruction, but revelation. So now the question is not, when will the seals be broken, but rather, are you ready to break them within yourself? Part 3. The Beast, the Dragon, and the Whore of Babylon. We've opened the seals, faced the horsemen, and glimpsed the deeper truths hidden within Revelation. But now, we enter its most feared symbols, the part of the vision that has terrified generations. The Beast, the Dragon, the Whore of Babylon. To most, these are visions of evil, signs of the world's collapse. But what if they were never meant to be taken literally? What if they are mirrors, reflecting the very shadows within ourselves? The beast with 7 heads, the illusion of the false self. The beast rises from the sea, 7 heads, 10 horns, crowned with dominion. For centuries it has been seen as a demon, a herald of chaos and tyranny. But to the mystic, the beast is not a monster. It is the ego, fragmented, power-hungry, rooted in illusion. Each head a mask we wear, pride, believing we are separate, superior. Greed, the endless hunger for more. Wrath, the fire of unmastered emotion. Lust, the pull of the senses over the soul. Envy, the poison of comparison. Gluttony, addiction to indulgence. Sloth, the soul's refusal to evolve. The beast keeps us asleep, not by force, but by seduction. And so, Revelation does not ask us to fear the beast. It asks us to recognize it within and to transcend it. The Whore of Babylon, the seduction of illusion. She rides the beast, clothed in scarlet, adorned with gold, drunk on the blood of saints. To many, she is a symbol of corruption, excess, and sin. But beneath the metaphor lies an esoteric truth. The Whore of Babylon is the lower self, the voice that says, stay asleep, chase pleasure, ignore the call of the soul. She is materialism, she is distraction, she is the false promise that fulfillment lies in the outer world. And like the beast, she must be seen through, not feared, but understood. For the true path begins when we turn inward. The dragon, guardian of power or gatekeeper of fear. The dragon, cast down from heaven, gives power to the beast. But in ancient mysticism, the dragon is not always evil. To the alchemists, it is the prima materia, the raw spiritual fire. To the Hermeticists, it is Kundalini, the serpent energy lying dormant within. To the Gnostics, it is the threshold guardian, testing those who seek the light. Could the dragon of Revelation be this initiatory force? A symbol not of damnation, but of transformation. Only those who confront their inner dragons can unlock the higher mysteries, breaking the chains from inner tyranny to inner freedom. If the beast, the whore, and the dragon are symbols of our own unconscious bondage, then the true meaning of Revelation becomes clear. It is not about destruction, it is about awakening. The beast must be unmasked, the whore must be resisted, the dragon must be confronted and transformed. Only then can the soul rise, and that leads us to the final transformation, where heaven meets earth and the New Jerusalem descends. A symbol, not of a city in the clouds, but of divine consciousness awakened within. Are you ready to take the next step on the path of initiation? Part 4. The New Jerusalem, a blueprint for enlightenment. We've journeyed through the seals, faced the horsemen, confronted the beast, the dragon, and the whore of Babylon. Now, at the end of Revelation, comes something unexpected. Not chaos, not destruction, but light. From the heavens descends a vision, glorious, radiant, beyond comprehension. The New Jerusalem. To many, it has been seen as the final reward, heaven's kingdom come to earth. But what if this holy city is not a literal place? What if it is the final initiation, the sacred map of the awakened soul? The sacred blueprint hidden within the vision. John's description of the New Jerusalem is not random. It is mathematical, symbolic, esoteric. 12 gates, 12 foundations. The number 12 appears over and over, symbol of divine order, cosmic structure. 12 tribes, 12 apostles, 12 zodiac signs. A complete cycle, a universal balance, a perfect cube. The city's length, width, and height are equal, signifying harmony across all planes, body, mind, and spirit. In sacred geometry, the cube represents stability, groundedness, and integration of the material with the divine, golden streets and transparent walls. Not riches in a worldly sense, but symbols of purity, truth, and enlightenment. A city built not of stone but of light. Could it be that this is not a prophecy of a future city, but a blueprint for the perfected soul? A symbolic model of higher consciousness, of what we become once the ego dissolves and the divine awakens within. New Jerusalem in global mystical traditions. This vision is not unique to Christianity. In Buddhism, it is nirvana, the awakening beyond suffering and illusion. In Hinduism, it is moksha, liberation from the wheel of rebirth, merging with the absolute. In Gnostic and Hermetic teachings, it is the return to the pleroma, the divine fullness, where spirit reunites with source. Could New Jerusalem be Christianity's version of this same final truth? Not a place to reach, but a state to awaken. The inner kingdom. The sacred space where the false self dies and the eternal self is born. The apocalypse was always within. What if the word apocalypse, from the Greek apocalypsis, never meant destruction, but simply to unveil? The unveiling of truth, the tearing away of illusion, the revelation of what we truly are. The beast, the seals, the dragon, they were the shadows within us. And the New Jerusalem. It is what's left when the shadow is gone. So the final vision is not about judgment, it is about transcendence, not the end of the world, but the rebirth of the soul. Because the gates of the New Jerusalem are not in the sky, they are in your consciousness, and the moment you awaken, you realize they've been open all along. Part 5. How to interpret Revelation for personal awakening. We've followed the seals, faced the horsemen, seen the illusions of the beast dissolve into shadow, and witnessed the descent of the New Jerusalem. But what if this ancient vision was never about the world's end, but about the soul's beginning? For centuries, Revelation has been feared as a prophecy of fire and chaos. But in the hidden teachings of mystics and initiates, it holds a very different message. Revelation is not the story of destruction. It is the roadmap of transformation. The inner apocalypse, the death of illusion. In esoteric traditions, apocalypse means unveiling. Not the collapse of the outer world, but the collapse of everything false within. It is the burning away of ignorance, the disintegration of ego, the death of the illusion that we are separate from the divine, like the Buddha beneath the Bodhi tree, like the alchemist dissolving lead into gold, like the mystic who walks through fire to find the light. This is the true apocalypse, the end of who you are not, the 7 seals, a map of inner liberation. Each seal, long feared as a curse, may actually be a veil, a layer of illusion between you and the truth. White horse, the illusion of false authority, the lie that truth lies outside you. Red horse, the illusion of separation, conflict as an identity. Black horse, the illusion of scarcity, the belief that we are not enough. Pale horse, the illusion of death, forgetting the soul's immortality. 5th seal, the illusion of suffering, that pain has no purpose. 6th seal, the breaking of systems. When beliefs crumble, clarity begins. 7th seal, silence, stillness, divine presence. The doorway opens. To break these seals is not to cause disaster, but to awaken the beast and New Jerusalem, symbols of the self. The beast is not a monster. It is the ego unrestrained, ruled by fear, greed, and illusion. The whore of Babylon is not a person. It is temptation, the call of the material over the spiritual. And the dragon, the fire of raw power, untamed, unmastered, guarding the gates to true wisdom. But at the end of the journey, we do not face damnation. We see the New Jerusalem descend, not from the sky, but from within. A cube of perfect harmony, a mind illuminated, a soul restored to truth. Across mystic traditions, Hermetic, Kabbalistic, Buddhist, Hindu, this same pattern appears: death, rebirth, ascension, the true revelation from fear to freedom. What if revelation was never meant to terrify you, but to prepare you, not to predict an end, but to inspire a beginning? Because the real battle is not in heaven or hell, it is in the mind. The seals must be broken within, the beast must be faced within, the holy city must rise within. And now, as the veil thins, you're no longer just reading Revelation, you are living it. The question is, will you awaken? Final CTA, the next chapter of hidden wisdom. For centuries, Revelation has been seen as a prophecy of doom. But what if it was never about the world ending, but illusion collapsing? If this sacred text was misinterpreted, what else has been buried? To find out, we must go deeper, into the lost teachings of early Christianity, into the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Gospels the Church tried to erase. Did Christ teach a secret path to awakening? And did the Vatican hide it? Next episode, why the Vatican hides these ancient manuscripts. Next, to uncover the wisdom they never wanted you to find.